everyone, thanks for joining our live session today on protecting people and property with physical security. I'm excited to welcome our speakers today, Neil Medwed, Director of Strategic Partnerships at Ameriplex. Protecting people and
Hello, everybody. My name's Neil Medwed. I'm very happy to be here today to discuss physical security and its importance to your business as it grows. I'm Ameriplex's Director of Strategic Partnerships, and I'm excited to be joined by Armand Stevens from Milestone Systems, the global leader in video management software, and Ken Jenkins, one of Ameriplex's physical security specialists. During our time together today, we'll be helping you understand the benefits of next generation video surveillance technologies and architecture and the many use cases that you can incorporate into your environments. Please feel free to ask questions to us throughout the video in a chat box. With that said, Armand, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
No demo would ever be anything without a leaf blower right outside your window when the live webinar starts, right? So apologies for that. Hope everybody can hear me fine. My name's Armand Stevens. I'm from Milestone Systems, and I take care of strategic accounts within Milestone, meaning that we work very closely with partners that are looking to install video surveillance systems. So thank you for this opportunity, Neil.
Quick introduction, please.
Sorry, the sound went out there for a moment. Ken Jenkins here, physical security specialist, field specialist for Ameriplex. I've been involved in around physical security going on 2 decades now. Video surveillance, access control, and other security solutions.
Yeah, Ken's done a great job and has done large, medium, and small implementations around the video surveillance, access control, wireless systems, man-down systems, sensor systems, and he's a great asset to our team and can be to you too. So let's get started over here. Armand, physical security has come a long way in the last 5 years. Can you walk us through some of the challenges business might be facing today?
Sure. Video surveillance has come a long way, like you said, right? We started recording on VCRs, moved that to DVRs. There has been umpteen challenges throughout the decades, right? I think one of the things that has always been in play is, as early as a couple of decades ago, we started looking into video analytics and people wanting to do more with their security and surveillance systems. Some of the challenges that people face today, and these are by no means the more popular ones, but ones that I certainly come across, is trying to tie access control into video. Everybody wants an integrated system that have the ability to have a single pane of glass and control everything through a video interface, as opposed to have multiple systems. People are trying to simplify the complex infrastructures that they have in order to maintain it, with the potential of moving video into the cloud and simplify the storage complications that they have on site. And then there's an age-old fight between security and IT. Security certainly wants to own their domain, and they want to make sure that they have what they need in order to rightfully protect the people and the assets of an organization. And IT wants to make sure that they protect the people and the assets of the organization, but from something that's a little bit more unseen. So that physical and virtual worlds collide more often than not. And as we get closer, or as the technology grows, we see that video surveillance is coming more into the fold of the IT space. And then also there's still outdated technology out there. A lot of people are deploying or hanging on to that very bitter end of their old HD analog systems that they may have deployed a couple of years back, or as far back as 5 years ago, trying to get the last breath of life out of their system. So from that perspective, I think those are probably the most common ones we see. Certainly, there's a lot more technology out there. I mean, what we see today is people are trying to push the boundaries with their surveillance systems. Last year was by far the most interesting, where companies turn to video surveillance providers for solutions to help detect the unseen, right? COVID-19. So, but why are they looking at video surveillance? To solve a problem which is a virus related, right? And I think really the answer to that is people see this still see surveillance as a security system. And by nature, security systems need to protect, whether it's something physical or virtual. So that was quite interesting. And I think a new potentially dynamic that will come into play is the work from home. With this movement, cloud solutions are definitely becoming more popular. So in a nutshell, I think technology has come a long way. But one thing that stands out to me is that no one company can be everything in surveillance. Technology advances way too quickly, and a single end-to-end provider may just be the road to a dead end.
Yeah, one thing to add to that, Armand, is the intelligence that's built in at the edge nowadays versus, the old surveillance solutions. Can you talk on that for a moment?
Sure. As Milestone, we've always been a proponent of supporting edge analytics, if you will. And for the simple reason is that back in the day, the cameras were able to see video. Today, you are able to run an array of analytics on the edge, from facial recognition, license plate or automatic number plate recognition, even thermal type analytics on the edge, which frees up a lot of bandwidth and resources in the central, how can I say, in a less distributed architecture, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was just going to say that the one thing, it's hard for a consumer to differentiate between cameras and solutions as a whole. They go into a retail outlet and see older technology solutions, and they feel that a camera is a camera is a camera. A video management solution is another. They're all the same, and that's simply, not the case anymore. We consult with many organizations to first educate, of course. That's our main goal when it comes to physical security, period. Educating our prospects, our customers, let them fully understand what the current technology is so they can make the best business decision for themselves and their company. The video has come, it's night and day. There's app stores nowadays where certain camera manufacturers, the quality camera manufacturers, and there's app stores that bring different intelligence. Let's talk about smaller server architecture versus larger real quick.
So from a server architecture perspective, it really depends on, sorry, this leaf blower is really relentless. From a server architecture perspective, the customer really depends, or the solution really depends on the size of an opportunity. There's a lot of factors at play that make up any surveillance solution. And the good thing is that we leverage open architecture or custom off the shelf servers. There's no specific requirement to have purpose-built hardware. Yeah, we supply those from a Milestone perspective as well, but really we want to make sure that the customer's needs and objectives are met. And most of the time, these can be met with infrastructure or hardware that they have in place. or that they can build. So from a medium to small size system, these components that you see on screen can literally be installed on a single machine. But as we expand potentially into larger systems, these components can be either taken into their own physical hardware or even virtual for that fact.
Hey, Ken,
Yes.
let me give it to you just for a moment here. You do a lot of walkthroughs. You go on site with our client base, looking at the infrastructure, small, medium, and large, and there's a lot of science behind a solution. Can you delve into that a little bit, please?
Certainly. And one of the most basic steps that people overlook is that determine exactly what it is you would like to capture. Whether it's just general observation, facial recognition, you take a look at things specifically when you're outside, you look at distances, you look at low light, you look at infrared and so forth. Inside where often people have selected the wrong cameras is once again considering the view. They'll have a long corridor, but they'll select a wide angle camera that's capturing 60% of the wall. Taking that a little bit further, a lot of marketing people won't like this, but do not select a camera off a brochure. There's too much ambiguous information on there for you to make a proper choice. Listen to a trusted provider, get a demo if at all possible, but that will ensure a better result.
Armand, smaller implementations versus larger implementations. As far as placement of resources, can you go into that a little bit, please?
So resources can really be placed. When you say resources, I'm seeing
compute.
So typically what happens is back in the day, we had a lot of decentralized on the edge recording. And when I say on the edge, meaning there were DVRs or recording servers placed on premises at specific locations. And then the solutions kind of moved away from having specific hardware record footage, and they moved that across to a more centralized system. So you would typically still have with IP networks evolving, right? You would have your edge recording, and then that would offload to a more centralized storage. And today we're seeing that centralized storage potentially moving to the cloud, where you still have edge recording. And when I say edge recording, not really on the camera itself, but rather like on-prem recording. You would still see that recording on premises, but a larger retainage of the data would then move to the cloud, which we see as a hybrid solution. So you make use of the better technology of the world, and that's one of the things in a decent video management system is you have the ability to pivot or to scale your system to meet those needs. Where some solutions may require that you actually record on edge, being on the camera itself and have no on-prem, but you can mix and match these solutions to meet your needs and requirements of your customers. Because let's face it, no two customers' needs are the same, but we need to make sure that we can cover each of those, right?
And that's one of the things from the Meriplex perspective. Meriplex is a specialist with data circuits, with intelligent network, with storage, with servers, with IP. When you slice our veins, Internet Protocol comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional security companies, they're really good in the analog marketplace. When you have to understand routing and switching and servers and storage and all the data flow that is the IP side of the business, that's why we as Meriplex are so successful working with you as our clients and our prospects, because we fully understand both the video side as well as the data flow side, the IP side, the internet side, the server side, switching side, and storage side. So that's why we've been so successful working with you to bring out the correct solution. If there's one thing to understand is, as Armand said, no two solutions are the same. No two organizations have the exact same needs. There's truly a science behind the types of cameras, the amount of storage, indoor, outdoor, the light, all these different things. And that's where we stand head and shoulders above the others, is on the science and the understanding of where video surveillance and physical security is, which is on your data network. So let's move forward over here. Let's talk about the vertical use cases beyond security. Ken, you've done a lot of healthcare. I mean, you're nationally known as a healthcare expert in the video surveillance and physical security space. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you've done in healthcare, please?
Yes, certainly. One of the besides your general observation and your general safety of your patients and staff, especially in behavioral environments, there's certain requirements by the state. And now with video surveillance and VMSs and due to their headcount capability, they're able to provide reports to the state documenting that their staff has made the appropriate rounds in a timely manner. And in Texas, that's very critical. Also, there's a lot of he said, she said. So obviously, it can prevent it from going to litigation and saving thousands of dollars in situations like that.
You've even done things like man-down systems, sensor systems, Internet of Things, if you will, which falls within this space. Talk briefly on that, if you could.
Yeah, we have interfaced with man-down systems, anti-vaping systems, gunshot gunshot detection and correlation. Whereas the appropriate VMS camera tied in with the system can actually pinpoint a gunshot within 2 yards. And also, it will, by interacting with access control in a school environment, it can lock down the appropriate doors, send out the appropriate alerts.
Thank you, Ken.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Armand, manufacturing warehouse, we and you do a lot of work with organizations that have warehouses, manufacturing facilities. Can you go into use cases on that, please?
Sure. And I mean, those use cases are, as with most customers, different in each application. But we've done some serious warehouses where we're able to, with correct camera placement and partners, we're able to track packages for courier companies through the process of when they arrive at a facility, take it all the way through the facility, and at the end, it could you could avoid mitigation, or you can mitigate lawsuits where people claim that packages have been damaged. So as those packages arrive, they go through the conveyor belts. We know exactly where they are during the system and in process. That's how you get, potentially, if you look at courier companies, how you get your timing as when your package will arrive. So not only from that perspective, but vehicle manufacturing plants, tracking vehicles on the assembly belt, making sure that all of that information is accurate, that the person working on the vehicle knows exactly what needs to be done at any point in time. So those are just some of the examples. RFID tracking and linking into the VMS and video, linking those two components help keep people safe in warehouses, making sure that they are where they're supposed to be.
Even something as simple as the warehouse entrances where trucks pull in, where customers come and do will calls, being able to see what happens. You have people with machinery to be able to watch what's happening. That's a very, very great use case, especially in warehouse environments.
Sure, because surveillance cameras give you the eyes where you don't necessarily have them, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ken, let's shift to retail, the use cases. I know you've done quite a bit in retail. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, in retail, first of all, addressing your basic litigation, somebody slips and falls. Somebody falsely claims that there was something on the floor and they slipped and fall. So you have that litigation process. But now, due to heat sinking and tying in with the VMS, you can keep track of bios. You can keep track of merchandise. You can track traffic flow. And consequently, that helps with merchandising and reordering. This is beyond your typical, shrink and pilferage that might go on in a particular store.
Yeah. You have people counting, you have video surveillance and VMS attached to people identification. For example, a female customer walks by and certain ads will be played that may be specific to a female's consideration. A male walks by that same area, it takes the person and says this more likely is a male, and it plays a different ad, for example. We're going to move on to finance real quick, Armand. Could you comment on finance?
Yeah, sure. I know we're running short of time, so I'll keep it brief. But from a finance perspective, really, is it to make sure that people counting money is counting those accurately? We've got machines that can do all of this, but tying video into that process could actually give you, could mitigate any sleight of hand possibilities. Tying facial recognition or any of those technologies into play can really bolster up security for people getting access to vaults or systems, especially where there's large amounts of cash that's involved. There's a ton of applications that we can look at it from that perspective.
One of the things that Ameriplex has great specialty in is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, as we all know, affects everybody. Cybersecurity is something that we all need to be very aware of because there's risks all over. Armand talked about the video surveillance of yesterday versus video surveillance of today. And a big piece of what certain manufacturers' cybersecurity solutions have is hardened cybersecurity considerations. Armand, can you talk on this a little bit, please?
Sure. And in networking, I learned a long time ago that if you can touch it, you can own it. That is a basis where security starts, making sure that all your components are physically secure. But at Milestone, we believe we are secure by design, and we're only a part of a bigger solution. So it's not only us that needs to be secure, but there's a lot of components that needs to be secure, right? So much like anything, we need to make sure that we follow and adhere to those processes and procedures that is provided by people or operating systems such as Microsoft, which we reside on, along with deploying those networking protocols and firewall rules. Because even though some brands are out there that have shown to be exploited and have some known vulnerabilities, and some of these are the ones that we referenced earlier in that you can purchase in retail outlets. Knowing those risks mean that you're able to do something about them, that you can stop them before they actually cause harm. So from our perspective, we've always maintained that we will adhere to the strongest security and encryption that's possible. Today, we're able to bring in cameras into our systems that you'll be able to do so with them having HTTPS enabled on the camera without having to flick back and forth between two different protocols. You just add those cameras from there, and even you're forced to change the default username and passwords on those systems, which frighteningly a lot of people don't do during the normal course of things. So there's a lot of things that we can do, but cybersecurity is a big consideration. In 2019, there was a ton of cities that were open to cybersecurity attacks in Texas alone. So, but yeah, that's definitely a consideration.
So we as business people understand the importance of creating a business plan. From a cybersecurity perspective, we understand the importance of creating a cybersecurity, protection plan. smart businesses nowadays are also building a robust physical security plan. Because of timing, we're gonna pass this pretty quickly. But one takeaway that we certainly want to have is, please reach out to us after so we can help you develop a physical security plan for your organization. So Ken, let's go through the components of building a physical security plan. Because of time, we have to do it quick, but let's continue.
One thing that will aid you all the way through the process is just to get a clear understanding of what it is you're trying to capture. General observation, and that ties in with the particular camera. General observation, facial recognition, long distances, night viewing, and so forth. And so that would be number one. Be clear on those two particular items. And as I mentioned before, don't select it off a brochure. Get a demo. Talk to a reputable source. Get references and so forth. And then number 3 on that is your VMS system. Cameras advance, and so much advancement has been made at that camera level that the enhanced analytics are now available. But you need the appropriate VMS that can collect and give you that particular data. And then here's the thing that I feel impacts ROI more than anything else. You have a faulty design, you have a faulty installation, it will eat up your ROI. Imagine this. Yeah, you've got a camera on a 30-foot pole, okay, and you paid $800 for the camera for the view, and it goes bad every other year. It's going to cost you anywhere from $350 to $500 minimum to replace that camera. So well designed, people that understand fire codes and so forth, and give you a secure environment.
One thing I want to add to this, again, Ameriplex, we'd love to work with you to create a robust physical security plan. But in state of Texas, as well as 15 other states, you must be licensed in order to sell and install video surveillance technologies. It's the same license if I want to open up, for example, Armor Guard Company. So it's very, very important for you to consider who you're purchasing from, who you're working with. Obviously, no one wants to do anything illegal. It's a Class B misdemeanor for an IP company to sell and install video surveillance technologies without a security license by the state of Texas. So that's something that's very, very important to discuss. We only have a couple minutes left. And Armand, thank you so much for joining us on this webinar today. Ken, as always, you're the best. You're a legend in the industry. We thank you. Love working with you, and our clients and prospects obviously would love working with you also. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We recommend every business should review and evaluate their physical security strategy every year. My challenge to you is to add a physical security plan also in order to protect, prevent, and improve whenever necessary. Ameriplex offers market-leading physical security solutions to our client base, and we would love to discuss your physical security profile with you. Please feel free to reach out to myself on LinkedIn or reach out to us via connect@ameriplex.com. We appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.